You are listening to a Bucking Spurs podcast. I am Robert Trejo, your host of this show. Go Spurs, go. Today, it's just a quick recap, dude. The Spurs let out a nice 5-minute video tributing Dejounte Murray, his work ethic, and coming off this injury, what he went through throughout this process, and his mindset behind the curtain. And that's something that we don't see a lot of as a fan base. And Dejounte has talked about it. He's like, we don't post stuff on the internet, we don't post us training, and we're not about the rah-rah, right? We're not about showing you guys what y'all want to see. We need to be putting in the work that we know what it takes to get it done. So today we're just reviewing the Spurs Story Dejounte Murray video that was posted and released today. All right, let's go.
I need a little bit more dose of nasty. I'm seeing a little bit of unconfident, a little hesitation. It's not supposed to be easy. Every round gets tougher. Penetrate hard. Good passes. Shoot with confidence. I want some nasty.
San Antonio Spurs have just released a dope video of Dejounte Murray. It's a series I guess they're starting, presented by Frostbank, called Spurs Stories. Now, the story of Dejounte Murray this past year is a great one. It's going to be a beautiful story as it continues, because let's take ourselves back. Let's take ourselves back to October 7th, 2018, where we're in a preseason game, a throwaway game against Houston, and Dejounte goes down. We all felt it, man. If you go back and listen to my pod, I'm like, no, I was just like, why, because I appreciate this kid so much. It was his time to take these reins and to just go, and we're ready for it. And we all knew the work that he'd put in, because it's not like he was a second-year player. He was coming into his third season, I believe, and it was our first year without Tony Parker. Let's not forget that for the first time in like 17 years, man, like this kid, Tony Parker wasn't going to lead the way, and it was going to be Dejounte's turn to step up, and he unfortunately gets hurt in a preseason game. This Spurs story takes us back all the way to that time, and we all felt for him, because you go back, and in the video they talk about LaMarcus Aldridge. He's like, man, he's our starting point guard. DeMar DeRozan's like, I hope it's not as bad as it seems, but it ended up being a season-ending ACL tear. So what this video does for us is it gives us a behind-the-curtain look at Dejounte Murray and his mindset, and I think that's the most interesting piece of this player, of Dejounte Murray, the player, the man, the character behind the what he does on the basketball court. He's very strong-minded. His will, his passion for this game, to be the best, to be one of the greats. He doesn't just want to be one of them. He wants to be the best point guard that we've ever had. And we have a guy that has 4 championship rings in Tony Parker. And yet I still believe him. I still believe that he can get it done, or I'd love to see him try, because I think just the attempt, and maybe he will end up being one of our best point guards ever. We don't know. But the video starts off with him talking about a Chris Paul phone call that he got right after he got hurt. And the words of wisdom that Chris Paul gave to Dejounte were, so wise. And it kind of takes me back and makes me think of Chris Paul a little bit better, because I've always, Chris Paul has been the president, right, of the Players Association. So he's not. Everyone just kind of sees Chris Paul as an asshole, and I see him as a competitor, and I see him as a leader, and I think that's why he was the president. But he gives Dejounte Murray that phone call. He says, hey, man, a lot of people are going to be reaching out to you in week 1. Everyone's going to be showing their support, but after week 1, they're all going to disappear. And then you're going to see who's really there for you. And Dejounte talks about the Spurs being there for him, that the Spurs family, the staff, his family and friends have been there for him since the get-go. And Dejounte Murray talks a lot about it's funny because some players get injuries and they go through a long stage of like mental rehabilitation, if you know what I mean. And Dejounte talks about week 1 was like all just him being sad and mad, and I think that was like his grieving stage, right? But then post week 1, Dejounte talks about not letting it break him. Like right after the week 1, right after he got his surgery, he was ready to go through the process, and he knows that it was going to take time. And he knows that this injury is not going to break him or break his career, and that he's going to trust it. He's going to hone into his craft, and it was actually going to make him, not break him. This injury has elevated his focus. He talked a lot about being locked in this video. And Pop also said, hey, man, this guy is a professional. You know, he didn't skip any steps. He trusted the Spurs staff. He trusted the trainers. He made extra time to be here around the gym, around film sessions, around talking to the people that were there while he was there. And so Pop says he matured a lot this year and this summer, and that he's going to be a better leader for it. He's going to be a better point guard. And I think that we're all waiting to see that because we trust that too. I think we all believe that Spurs Nation is behind Dejounte. We've been behind Dejounte since it all happened. I mean, he talks a lot about fake people and fake support and whatever. I hope that Dejounte Murray knows that Spurs Nation has been here and we haven't lost track of him, and we're not just throwing him away because Derek White had an unbelievable year. I mean, him going down let Derek White have a breakout year. And it's not like, you know, Derek White came out the gates on fire. He figured it out. It took him about 2 months. I think around December was when Derek White started playing better. And Dejounte Murray was right there. Dejounte Murray was on the bench. He was coaching. He was helping the players during games, in film sessions, in training room. He was there with the team. He talks a lot about being a team guy. We are going to take a quick break just to remind y'all that August is Teacher Appreciation Month here at ABSP. We have a teacher appreciation giveaway going on for the teachers of Spurs Nation. Go to Instagram or Twitter and find our post about it. Top 4 winners get prizes. What do you have to do if you're a teacher of Spurs Nation? 1, take a pic of how you rep the Spurs in your classroom. Could be a sticker, a poster, a flag, whatever. 2, screenshot rating the podcast 5 stars. 3, tag 2 Spurs fans in the post. And that is it. Send in your submission now. This contest is running for the whole month of August and ending August 31st. If you're hearing this podcast right now and you know a teacher, any teacher in general, wish them good luck on a brand new school year. Maybe give them a small Starbucks gift card and tag them in the post on my Instagram or Twitter so they know about it. So they know about a Bucking Spurs podcast Teacher Appreciation Month giveaway. All right, back to the pod. This video highlights his rehab. I think the grind, that day-to-day that he's been going through. We get to see a 5-minute video, a little 5-minute video of little clips here and there of Dejounte working hard, rehabilitating his body. For us, it's a 5-minute video, but for Dejounte, it's been a 24-hour non-stop grind physically and mentally for him. His body looks strong. If you look at the little clips, his body's huge. This dude has shoulders like Dwight Howard, man. He has that same Dwight Howard frame on a point guard. Huge, massive chest, shoulders, arms with a real small waist, and you know his legs are a little bit thin, but that's fine. You know, he's strong. You know, he's been working on those knees, he's been working on his ankles, his stability, his mobility. I think the most important thing is his mental game. Like I said in a previous episode, it's not easy to come back mentally off an injury like this. You know, it takes time, it takes reps, it takes in-game reps for him to totally really trust his body. It takes getting those nerves out, like, you know, but I feel like that's something that takes a lot of mental strength, and Dejounte Murray is mentally strong. You know, he's strong-willed. And that's what's going to make him have a great career, because the Spurs are all about strong character, strong-minded, a team-first attitude. The winning comes before yourself and your stats, and that's what we're all about. And Dejounte is epitome of is the personification, what's the word I'm looking for? He embodies that from head to toe, mind, body, and spirit, right? He talks a lot about how the Spurs saved his life. I've heard him say that since his first year with San Antonio, saying that the Spurs saved his life. saying that all he wanted was the opportunity, and he had that character. You guys, that's a personality trait. Someone doesn't think that they've earned it. He still says right now in the video, he ends the video saying he still doesn't believe that he deserves to be here. I mean, this guy's in year 3 going on year 4, and he still has that attitude like, I have everything to prove. I haven't accomplished nothing. And he asked God, why me? Why me? So he understands that the process is a long one, that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and that the journey is the most important thing, and that he's patient and he's ready to trust it. And I think this little Spurs Stories video was a great treat for us, right? It's a great treat for us, Spurs Nation, that have been thinking about him. And I mean, straight up, like, we've all been thinking about him. I think the question that a lot of Spurs Nation want to talk about is Dejounte or Derek White, or do you play them together? Bro, the answer is together. The answer is together. I don't think there's a doubt about that. None of those two guys are going to come off the bench. And we've seen Derek White in the season that he had, and the offseason that he's having, playing in USA basketball. Hopefully he makes that USA team and elevates his game even more. It's going to be undeniable that these two guys are two huge forces of nature that need to be playing on the court together, starting games together. Because when you start these two guys together right off the bat, you put the other team on skates. They're already, in their heads. We're in their heads, not by talking or whatever, but by our defense and by our leadership and our continuity and how the Spurs play together. Like, Derek White's the same type of guy. Doesn't feel like he deserves to be here. Appreciates the process, appreciates the opportunity till this day. He's never gonna have a big head. He's never going to have a big head and then leave and want to go home to Denver, Colorado. Or Dejounte Murray's never going to want to go home to, where's he from? Cali? No. I know he went to Washington State. Seattle. Seattle doesn't have a team. But he's never going to want to do that like Kawhi did, right? We took the time, developed Kawhi. Kawhi had the same character, but then Kawhi's head got kind of big. He stopped trusting us. And I think what's most important about, I don't want to talk a lot about Kawhi, but when Kawhi left, a lot of people thought it was going to be the end of the Spurs and that the Spurs dynasty is over. The Spurs culture needs to change. It's been good for 20 years, but now it's over. No, well, we got Tim Duncan back in the gym, and we still have players that still trust the process. Bryn Forbes, Derek White, Lonnie Walker is going to be another one. And Dejounte Murray is about to come back strong, come back 100% physically. And it's going to take a little bit of time. I believe that for him to come back mentally, but he will. Because, again, he's one of the strongest willed-minded players that ever put on a Spurs uniform. And that's going to be so exciting for us to watch. So thank the Spurs. I want to shout out to the Spurs for making it, whoever made this video. It was awesome leak. It was awesome cut. It was put together well. The transitions were well. The quality was good. I'm glad that Dejounte was on board to give us this little behind the curtain footage of what was going on. Seeing him push himself physically and him being able to open up and tell us mentally what he went through in the beginning and during this process. And I'm glad that Pop had a few things to say about it, because look, man, we love this guy. Like, we're all critical on everybody. I mean, any pundit out there, or anyone that has a Spurs fan page or blog or podcast like myself, we all like to be critical. I mean, you got to talk real, but at the same time, we're Spurs family. We're Spurs Nation is his family, and that's straight up from that's from RC and Peter Holt all the way to the ushers that are working in that building in the AT&T Center, to the concession. I used to work in the AT&T Center for Aramark in the concessions when I was going to college, right? So I was in the building just giving out nachos, trying to catch glimpses of players and stuff like that while I was there. And believe me, that trickles down throughout the organization, to the staff, to the media team, to the ticket holders, to the ushers, to the people that are custodians that clean up that place. It's a family, and all the way to Spurs Nation. So we all back up Dejounte, and I think we all can't wait, and we're all excited to see Dejounte come back, man, because it's going to be epic. Guys, prepare yourself for an epic year. If Dejounte comes back 100 and Lonnie Walker is ready to get some minutes, and our rookies can contribute every now and then. We got DeMarre Carroll, Trey Lyles. We got these guys that are ready to fill the void that we didn't. We picked up some guys that were able to fill the need that we had last season. We needed a 3-and-D guy at the power forward and small forward, and we got that. And then we got all this new stuff coming in. It's going to be a beautiful year. Shout out to Dejounte Murray. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of Dejounte for coming back. I'm proud of you for grinding in and out and trusting the Spurs family. We love you, bro. We're always going to have your back, no matter what, all right? Even if later down the line you end up leaving the Spurs, and I know you don't want to. You said that's never going to happen, but even if you do, we got you, bro. So Dejounte Murray is going to have a breakout year. Best believe that. All right, that's going to be it. I got to get back to work. You hear that? That's the school bell. All right, go Spurs, go, baby.